Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 10th episode of In the Corners with Reese Savoy and Matt Good. We are the UVic hockey broadcast team. It's Tuesday, November 22nd, and we've got some interesting, a little bit sad if we're being honest, interesting things to recap on this last week in the BCIHL. Matt, how you doing today?
Hey, Reese, good. I'm glad to be here with you. The Vikes are on the board. We're back for a big In the Corners episode. We've been hanging around good. We've been
Oh,
double
yeah.
shifting, doing our good homework on the league,
Yep.
and we're starting to rack up the points.
Big time. Yep, UVic get off to their first win. It was not what you would say a close one. I guess the word that you can describe this one would be blowout. It was an 11-0 win for the Vikes at home, so it was great for the fans, coming off of, the last time they were in the Ian H. Stewart complex. They took an L, but they come up with a win finally, and that comes against the expansion team, the Logan Lake Miners. And it was a big showing for Dan Gattenby. The Owen Reith line was going on. They were all going off. They're all having a great game. Great game for Drapeau as well with that shutout. We were afraid to say it. We didn't want to say it during the game because you never want to jinx it. But
We never would.
yeah, what would you? Any comments that right off the bat with that big win
Well,
for the Vikes?
going into the game, the Miners, they had played 5 games. They were 0-5. The Vikes 0-3. The goal differential wasn't that drastic. I think the Miners were down minus 30, Vikes down minus 50 with those games in hand. So we didn't know what to expect. The Vikes really asserted themselves, though, that they're not going to be a last place team. They're coming off the Oregon trip and they had some mojo going. They scored evenly and often through the game, 4 in the first period, 3 in the second, another tack on another 4. And it's not like the Miners goalie was a pusher over either. Matthew Ends hung in there, 81 shots.
Yeah.
And they came from all over the place. Like you said, Gattenby was firing them over there all
Connor
day.
Nolan all over it.
Yeah, I would say so. 5 for 5 on the power play too for the Vikes. Logan Lake, they had a lot of power plays. Remember, Hermary was in penalty trouble. There was a few Vikes getting called against penalties against them, but Logan Lake couldn't score anything on the power play. Nice to see things defensively go the way for the Vikes too. No cheap goals, nothing, no funny business kind of, right? It was just the Vikes night. So way to go. They deserve that. Jackson Egan, we talked to him. He wasn't in the lineup, but he told me in the intermission, they want to get some goals. They want to get some points racked up here individually. So that was good for them. Don't you think, Reese?
Oh yeah, no, they was it Jackson Egan that said run it up? He said, the pretty much the next move you got to make, and it's true, right? They need that confidence boost. They definitely got it from their trip out to Oregon, but it's one thing to win 11-0, but it's another thing to just get a lot of goals, feel out the team, just see what works, try lots of things on the power play, get the right players feeling it offensively. So when you got a big game like this Friday and Saturday, which we'll get into later for the Vikes, you want that confidence going in.
For sure. Spears, Braun, Eddie, Strange, Nolan, Spears, Gattenby, Nolan, Pickett. That's according to the website, the goal scorers.
Yep.
So a lot of repeat names there. I thought Gattenby had 2 goals. I guess it was tipped. 1 goal, 4 assists. Nolan, 6 points. Hat trick, 3 assists. Braun, a goal, 4 assists. Spears, 2 goals, 2 assists. That's how it went for the Vikes.
Yeah. No, that freshman line was buzzing. Nolan with was it 4 goals or 3 goals? And then you had Braun and Spears with, almost involvement on seemed like almost every goal. But yeah, the whole team was buzzing. It was just a great night in Victoria. So we love to see it. The fans who were there, they love to see it. It was a good precursor to what's going to be 2 very important games. Well, 3 actually, 3 really important games coming in these next 2 weeks. So, but moving on, Friday also, while that game was going on, there was a much closer contest in SFU's Red Leafs barn. I don't know what's their arena called. Do you know what their arena's called?
William Copeland, Bill Copeland.
Bill Copeland. Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, Bill Copeland. There was a very close, low-scoring contest, and there was a controversial call, 2-1 win for SFU over the Lakers. What was the controversial call? It was an overtime, by the way.
Yeah, Reese, I checked out this game this morning. The shots were 53-20 for the Red Leafs.
Wow.
So, but the Lakers hung in there. Jay Thompson had it. That's the goalie for the Lakers in this game. He had a gem.
Oh yeah.
They traded goals in the first, but went to overtime. We've seen a couple overtime games now. Not the Vikes, but the Mariners have seen a couple. Maybe the Red Leafs. This was their second one, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Or that's interesting. They're playing it 3-on-3, like in the big leagues.
Right.
And what happened was the penalty shot was called against the Lakers, and Wicks took the penalty shot. Now, I've taken a good video of this. I'll put it on our Instagram, and I'll send it over to you, Reese.
All right.
The penalty is a centering pass basically from the side wall, and Wicks is heading towards the net, and the defender drags him down. Yeah. However, the trip occurs at about the hash marks.
Right.
And traditionally, a breakaway is awarded when a player has a clear breakaway. Right. Or a penalty shot is awarded when a player has a breakaway.
Exactly.
I'll leave it to you and the others to discuss. I just thought the call was a little bit in the favor of SFU to award a penalty shot at that time. I mean, a 3-on-3, things are going to happen, and the game was going to go how it was anyway.
Right.
But I felt for the Lakers on that call. They had hung in there, forced overtime against the Red Leafs. Good job by them.
Yeah.
And they, maybe them being in second place isn't really a joke anymore, or isn't It's a serious deal now, is what,
No, 100%.
What do you think of that result?
I think that's, I seem to be saying this almost every week, but another statement win. Actually, another statement game, I'd say. The result, the win isn't indicative of what I think the message really is coming away from this game, because the message, I think, is, like you just said, they deserve to be in second. It shocks me too, because when we go back to looking at the result of the VIU versus SFU games, like, it definitely seems like there's a distance in quality, or a distance in game. And this Lakers team has proven that they're kind of right with them, right? And, as much as that goalie for the Lakers had such a great game, I mean, they hung in there and they did their best they could. If we were to go back and rewatch the highlights, maybe we'll see that not a lot of those shots were high danger. What do you think? Did you see like a lot of high danger opportunities for those shots, or were they like,
to be honest,
shots from everywhere?
Well, to be honest, in the overtime frame, the Lakers had the better scoring chances. So the Lakers were closer to getting the overtime goal than I thought the Red Leafs were. Right. The thing about the Lakers, we haven't seen them yet, but they don't have the star power. Like SFU, they got all these ringers, and same with VIU. Even the Vikes have some big scorers, but Nemeth is their leading scorer. He's 10th in the league. So I think their strength might be their well-roundedness. We'll have to see. What do you think of that idea, Reese?
No, I definitely, I think they're more of a worker team. They have a lot of gas in the tank when they show up to games here. It seems like what has made most teams, especially the Vikes, but most teams around the league, fall to the SFU Red Leafs is their ability to not be able to stop them on their breakout. Like, as soon as they get one goal, it tends to come with another three.
Yeah.
Shortly after, right? And the Vikes aren't the only team that have felt that. So the fact that they, found a way to keep it short and keep it close, I think what that is a huge sign of stamina and just a lot of hard work in that lineup, right? And that's going to prove for a really interesting rest of the season, come second semester. So we'll see how it turns out.
Last point on that, maybe to go up against SFU, your best player has got to be your goalie. Jay 100%. Thompson did that. Lakers, they got another goalie, Daniel Paul. He's good too, apparently. So they got a lot going for them, and it kind of maybe starts from goal out. Yes. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, moving on, we go right back to moving on to the league. We have a completely different game, but very similar to the one in the one in Victoria, which was a 15-3 win for the Mariners over the Logan Lake Miners, doubleheader for the Miners. So tough one on them for that. And obviously coming off a big loss, just to follow it up with another big loss. It's tough. You hate to see it, but VIU, their players just have another show out. The Dunlop and Palmer, both with, crazy stat sheets right now.
Yeah.
Palmer with 17 points in 6 games and Dunlop with 16 points in 6 games. So it's just, they have a lot of talent within that lineup, like you said earlier. And now the standings, SFU does have one more game than everybody. They got 9 games played, and then the Lakers right behind them with 8 and 16 points, 6-point difference between the Lakers and SFU. So SFU still taking a demand at the league there. But any comments about that VIU slam in Nanaimo?
Well, as you're looking at the standings just now, it goes to show how important this weekend is for the Vikes, 2
Big
against
time.
the Mariners. But 15-3 against Logan Lake. Good for the Miners. They get on the board 3 times. Their goaltending was split 50-50 in this one. They started Mike Love, which is a favorite around here, and Andrew Enns, my dream team. He came in the second half of the game.
Oh, okay.
So that was something different from the Vikes game. I'm just going to give a shout out to my favorite Miners players from the weekend that I saw. Carter Adams was a defenseman that was ripping around really good. You agree with me on that one?
Oh, yeah, he's a great skater. I think he's really good.
Yeah, he was leading them, kind of an offensive. He was their player that was controlling the game. Whenever they had the puck going in their possession, he was usually in charge of that. Andrew Enns, their goalie, we like him. Easton Gauthier was kind of a tough defender. He hung in there good. Colby Phillips was he had a couple partial breaks.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe hit a post.
Couple breakaways. Yeah, I think he had 2. They hit a lot of posts in that Vikes game. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Tons of there really was a lot of chances for the Lakers. I mean, the Miners. It really seemed like they couldn't catch a break the whole game.
Well, the Vikes earned that because they've had goals going in off the goalie's skate and over the net in Oregon and stuff. Also, shout out to the Baker Goodfriedson. He's number 20 for them. And Nosekey, number 16, he's really good too. But they're in their expansion season. 3 goals though. They got 3 in against the Mariners. And the Vikes held them to 0. So for whatever that's worth, the Vikes got that shutout, that elusive eggnog.
They needed that big donut.
There we go.
Yeah. Huge shutout. Just to add to the confidence, right? Just to have that, and they can hold. I think coming out of Oregon after that trip, they get that 5-2 win. Gives their season a little bit of a restart. It's like that mid-season exhibition. It's a good privilege to have. You go in there, you take the pressure off of the result, and you just kind of play your game and try to show out for a different group of fans, and they did it. And what did that lead to? It led to a huge shutout win for the Vikes after that. So hopefully this big win will follow up with some great results for the Vikes. Moving on to this week, November 25th, this Friday, VIU is coming to the Ian H. Stewart Complex. Hopefully, by the way, I forgot to mention this also. Hopefully, Hockey TV won't be blocked. We had it blocked. I don't know why. It might have been UVic. According to our GM, it was something that the school had to do with it. But we weren't able to get the commentary out there. So if you were looking at Hockey TV wondering where the game was, that's the excuse. But I think they have it recorded, so I'm not sure if it's absolutely detrimental to the season. If you're a part of Logan Lake and you need that game, you could probably contact Harry or even us, and we can try to get a hold of it for you. But hopefully this week we will have no problems. And also in BCIHL hockey news, on the same day at the same time, the Logan Lake Miners are hosting the Red Leaf. So that's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough.
But Miners are going home to their rink.
Hopefully they can
going to light it up.
Get some, motivation from the crowd or something, because that Red Leafs team is. I mean, they're scary coming into any team, let alone the team that just
pretty
is
good.
coming off of, 25 goals in 2 games or whatever it was. So 26. But
Yeah, they'll just keep at it, maybe light a few candles, but they'll keep at it. And we're fans of the Miners.
Oh, yep. Yeah, 100%. We want to see them do well. I like the green.
Yeah, there was quite a few. There was a bit of penalties too, right, against the Vikes, which anyway, they can mix it up is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And they seem to be doing well when they were a bit more agitated in the first period, the first half of the game. The Miners, they were kind of getting under the Vikes' skin. That's another story, but hopefully they can, agitate those Red Leafs a bit and make them play their game on their turf. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, how much would that mix up these standings a little bit if somehow the Miners came out with a win, right? So you hope for the unpredictable things to happen. You hope for the shocks, the unexpected.
Garrett Hilton over under 1.5 goals.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm already giving the over on that. But moving on, Saturday, the Vikes face off again. They switch homes. They're heading out to Nanaimo to take on the Mariners. So they host them for the Friday, and then doubleheader next day. They head over to Nanaimo. 7:15 start on that one, and on a 6:15 start for a Okanagan Lakers matchup with the Red Leafs. They're coming to the Okanagan that'll be a very important matchup. We'll see how that goes. It'll be a little repeat of last week. So gonna be some
big game for the Lakers, hey?
Yep, huge game.
Yeah, that's a big chance for them to hop up and grab a win on their home ice and follow up on that good game. Man,
exactly.
I think we call in sick to work tomorrow or on Saturday and go to one of these games. We'll see if we can make it happen. We can't, but we'll dream it.
We'll dream it. Yeah.
Well, we got to do our BCIHL tour someday, Reese.
One day, yeah. Maybe by the end of the season. Well, a good tour of it will be when we have that tournament in a couple months.
Now, tell me about that. Is that all the teams from the league come down?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if they. I doubt they would invite anybody else, but I know. I can't find. I'm looking through the website here. I'm not sure if they'll show it. But I think it's just the BCIHL teams. I'm not even sure the format of how it's going to work, but very, very interesting.
Well, that'll be fun. I also noticed that for the Vikes, I think it's in February. It must be a reading break or something. They're going to play 3 games in 4 days, or maybe 4 games in a row. So there's going to be some curveballs coming up, kind of like how the Lakers gave a little curveball to the Red Leafs. I thought the Lakers were going to score that overtime goal. I was watching that. There was pucks flying around the goalie, and then they get that penalty shot call.
Right.
I got a good close up too of the Lakers coach, because the ref, when there's a trip up and the guy's got a scoring chance, everyone looks at the ref, and the ref are they going to call a penalty? And they put that arm out. It all played out just like, and I look over at the Lakers coach, and it was a moment in the season, an important moment. I'm telling you. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Also, by the way, it's called the Tom Harris Cup, and it's on January 5th. The first day is January 5th, and that's VIU matches up against UVic, and everything's not everything, actually. So most of it's at the Ian Stewart Complex. They also will have a game on the Friday, January 6th. So I think it's how many days in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 4 days in a row of just BCIHL hockey. There's going to be like 2 games, one at 4, one at 8. Ooh, we're going to be busy that day. Both at the E&H Stewart Complex, and then on the Sunday, one at 1, one at 5. And yeah, I guess they'll do a playoff after that or something, or they'll just go up based off the results of the couple of games. We'll ask some questions. We'll get some additional information from the team on that. I'm
looking forward to that. This weekend, though, this is where the season starts to grind for the Vikes. They went 0-3, and now they're climbing back in. They're looking good, feeling good, but they're going to have to play these 2 games against the Mariners. Like, this is going to be like wrestling in the mud. It's going to be thick.
Oh yeah.
And going to be some good games this weekend leading up to that. Wonderful
Big
tourney.
time. Going to be exciting times. And then one more game for the Vikes after that. And then that'll be done it for this semester. But let's get into, before we get into too far into the future here, let's get into a game that you proposed, and it's an over-under game. You kind of teased it earlier. How's it work? How's this game working?
Well, like we've been saying throughout this entire show, this weekend is a huge one for the Vikes season. They're
Yes.
going up against their arch rivals on the island, a tough Mariners team, high scoring, top heavy, good defensemen there. So I thought I would prepare a few projections for you,
Okay.
scenarios for the weekend, 2 games these teams are going to play. And I'm going to ask you to give me an over or under to these future projections.
All
Know what I'm
right.
saying?
Let's do
Sound
it.
good?
Yes, I got it.
Let's start off easily. 1.5 wins for the Vikes. Over or under?
So when you say that 0.5 means an overtime loss, I'm assuming?
It's just outright. I don't know about that. 1.5 wins. Are they gonna win 1 game or 2? You pick
Right.
over or under.
Okay. I think they're going to win 1. I think for sure. And I'm actually am going to go for that 1.5 in the sense that I think that it's going to be a close one on one of the games. Well, I'm not sure if it'll be the Friday. I'm not sure if it'll be the Saturday. I know one of them is going to be an overtime or it's just going to go the distance. It's just my feeling, just my gut feeling on that game. I just think based off how they've projected throughout the season that that's the most likely result. So I'm going to, it is over under.
Yep.
So I'm going to go over, but that's just hopeful. But realistically, I would just say 1.5 is the number. I would not go either.
Nice.
I would stay right where 1.5 is.
You know what they say? The good line is hard to beat.
Yep.
Like, okay, I don't know who says that, but we do on In the Corners.
You do.
We do.
Yep.
Okay, total goals for the Vikes this weekend. All right, ready to go over under 6.5. Total goals, 4.
Over. I think it's going to be more. I think
love that.
I think that lamp is going to get lit. I think it's going to be I think with Braun and Spears and Nolan really coming into their own, they're going to come out there with a fire lit under them like nothing yet, nothing that's happened yet in the season. And also the Mariners are going to come with confidence with lots of players who are capable of putting up offense. So I think it's going to be a high scoring one. Definitely going over on that one.
Love that. Okay, here we go. Flipping to the Mariners side of things. Over under on assists for Ethan Jones, one of our main guys here for the Mariners that we like to keep an eye on. Over under 2.5 assists this weekend. Total.
Gonna go under. Gonna go under. The reason why I'm going under is I think a couple other players are going to be more involved in the assist column. If I could make some predictions, I definitely think Dunlop and Palmer are going to get in there in that assist column pretty high. And I definitely think, some of their D-men, 100%, Adam Morton, those guys, they're definitely going to get involved. Ethan Jones is a playmaker. He's an assist guy, but I think the Vikes are going to find a way to shut him down. And if it's going to be anybody that's showing up, it's going to be, one of these different, Morton, guys like that.
Right on. Let's stay with the Mariners for a couple more. Over under goals for Gavin Rouser, 0.5. We appreciate the Rouser around here.
He's
breakaways,
a hard player to play against.
Kind of like Brandon Voss for the Vikes. Here, let's combine these babies. 0.5 goals for Rouser, 0.5 goals for Voss. Over and under. Who's going to win the battle of the unpredictable heartbeat of the teams?
I'll go under for. No, yeah, I'll go over for the Rouser.
Yep.
I'll go for under on, was it Sweeney we're talking about?
Voss,
Brendan Voss. Sorry, my bad.
Yep.
Both of them very hard players to play against, so I guess they're very similar in that sense. But Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I think he's not gonna get much on the scoreboard, but what he's gonna do is he's gonna provide great board work. He's gonna get the puck out, make the cycle it in the offensive zone, get it to the D man like Gattenby, and
Yeah.
get some pucks on the net.
Yeah, Connor Nolan had 6 points against the Miners, and I thought Voss was just as noticeable crashing
Yes,
around. Isn't that
100%.
strange
Well
how that
put.
works?
Yeah, exactly. I
It
definitely agree
is.
with that.
Okay. Okay, here I'm going Las Vegas style on all you people out there.
All right.
All right, I don't know much about this, but we're doing good so far. Let's do a couple more. Power play goals for the Vikes, 1.5 all weekend. Power play goals. Is that too low or is that too high or is that just right?
I'm going over
There you
on
go.
that.
Okay.
I'm going over. They have a
Okay.
nice power play going. I think they
Yeah.
do got a good penalty kill in VIU. I'll tell you that for sure. But I think those freshmen are getting clicking, and once you put them together with the experience of Gattenby and throw in one of those guys to get out front, one of those more experienced guys like Hermary, and you got a problem. So over, 100% over on that.
Right on. Okay. Here, let's do starts for Drapeau, 0.5. Over or under? 0 starts or 1 or 2, I guess. Starts for Drapeau for the Vikes, over or under? 0.5.
Got to be 1. Definitely got to be 1.
Over.
Yeah, got to be over. So I think he deserves it 100%. Definitely a different team in that Miners compared to the other teams that they're competing against, but I think he deserves it. I think he played very well. So Pilon
He's
is
got
a
the
smart
win.
move though, because Pilon
Keep
did
going.
play very well.
Yeah.
Pilon played really well against the Ducks. So it could
Yeah.
be. It could. I do think it's going to be 1-for-1. So I'm going to go over on that.
Yeah. They're kind of that's an interesting storyline as it's been all season. Let's keep our eye on that one.
Oh yeah.
Reese is going over 0.5 starts for Drapeau. Okay, let's just last one here. I'm making this one up as I go along. Over under saves by Crawl. Okay. I noticed that Fournier played against the Miners, so maybe we'll see Fournier, the Mariners goalie.
Okay.
Maybe we should just say saves by Mariners goalie. All right. So over under 56 saves by Mariners goalies.
For both games?
Total games. Yep.
Oh, over.
Over.
Definitely going over. I think
saves.
the shots
Going over.
We are looking at a very tight contest. Not tight in if we're going based off the standings, looks a little bit of distance between the two teams, but I think just with the confidence that the Vikes have built through these last 2 weeks and just how they're playing more recently, I think it's going to be a different look from what we saw previously, whether it be the exhibition games against the Mariners or the one game they played away. So yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a different experience for this Mariners team come this weekend.
All right. Thank you very much, Reese. A couple one-timers here, then I'll pass it back to you. More points by a defenseman this weekend. Because the Vikes are starting to get that offensive push from, it helped to play the Miners, to be honest. But, even against the Ducks, Gattenby's starting to show up in that way.
Which you love to see.
We're probably going to see DeGo this weekend at some point. But, the Mariners, they got those horses there too.
Yes.
So tell me, more points by defenseman, Mariners or Vikes?
Gonna go for Mariners. I think Morton's got it going on. I think he's involved and he's buzzing this season. So I could see him racking up some assists, having a couple multi-point games in both games. So definitely hoping for Gattenby to really step up and have another great game, but we'll see. I think they just have a little bit more capable defensemen. Nothing to take away from the Vikes, but I just think the Mariners really have got a good core of defensemen in that team.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Yeah, we'll see how that shows up this weekend because things could change.
Okay, and then a wild prediction by yours truly here. The Vikes are gonna have 4-goal period this weekend. Ooh, okay. There's the prediction here from the odds maker in the corners. I have it written down as 3, but I'm gonna up it. Okay. The Vikes are going to have a 4-goal period this weekend. Don't know which period it's going to be. So we'll check back. Let's check back in on that one too
We're
when the
gonna
games
have
are
to.
done. Okay. That was pretty fun, Reese. What do you think of
Yes.
that? Over to you.
Oh, I think it's really good. I think there's going to be a lot of, you know, odds switching based on the results of this weekend for all the teams playing. I think hopefully some
Yeah.
different results can come about instead of exactly what we predict. And it'll lead to a very interesting tournament come right after
Yeah.
the first semester starts. I'm sorry, second semester starts. As soon as we get into the second semester, we pretty much follow it up with a huge tournament for each BCIHL team. So definitely going to be
Yeah.
an interesting time. With the little amount of time we have left, though, maybe we could talk about a different sport. We'll talk a little bit about the World Cup. We'll do a little brief overview of what we
Okay.
know as Canadians, because it is important that every sports fan in the country focuses on this because it's since 1986. It's been a long time. We haven't been there in many decades, so they're getting a shot. And for the first time, they have world class player in Alfonso Davies and a couple other great up and coming talent like Jonathan David, who's a striker. You can watch out for him, and Buchanan and what Lorraine? I don't know. He's got an interesting name. But he's the leading
Scouting
Canadian,
report coming in hot.
right? With the pronunciation. But a lot of talent you could see in that team. Modern style football, I'd say they play.
Nice.
Fast, great transition play, great counterattack, amazing on the flanks, capable of surprising a lot of teams. So I'm going to ask you, as someone who's following this BCIHL hockey as closely as you have, what are your predictions for this World Cup? Taking a look at the pool, taking a look at who's available. Who do you think can do it?
I think I'll root for Canada to get that win. I've heard
Yes. Get out of the group.
Some people don't think that Canada will even score a goal. I think they're in tough
Yes.
against Belgium, that first one. Apparently they're in the top 5 in the world or so. Whereas
Tomorrow at
Canada
11.
is
Yep.
they're at 11.
Yeah, tomorrow
You
at
think
11 a.m.
tomorrow at 11.
Yep. First
Yeah,
matchup for the group.
I'll be watching them a little bit. Also, there's we're kind of holding the attention of the political issues as well. So I'll be thinking about that as I watch as well, because sports is entertaining and we love it and we love to spend time with our friends, but it also kind of puts things in perspective sometimes.
Yeah.
But that not everyone has the same privilege and justice. Not everyone is experiencing those same privileges that we are.
Yeah, 100%.
So heart kind of goes out to that. People are suffering in that way. So that will kind of be on my mind if I watch any of the games for sure. And then I also will
protests. Might be some protests around there.
I look for the joy of the players, like the guys playing in the snow stuff. I love that. So hopefully they'll score and we'll get to see a big celebration from the players.
Yep.
They look really happy when they score, don't they, those guys?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's such it was only about, I think if you go back 10 years ago, and it's even less years than that, I think it was even just before 2018, the Team Canada soccer ranking was in the hundreds, like way, way low. And now they've moved their way up so far that they made the World Cup, right? So it's just a very important time. And another thing that you want to add about this too is want to keep in perspective actually is that the next World Cup in 2026 will be held in Canada, US, and Mexico. So the fact that they're getting a taste of World Cup action before they automatically qualify because of being a host, it's exciting times. And very young team, so this might be the revenge that is needed for them to go far in 2026. You know what I mean? So maybe they go through this group, things don't go well for them and they get frustrated, and the feeling of losing just lives within their soul and they never get over it and they think about it every day. And then 2026 comes around and then they win it. So already off to a shock, by the way, because Argentina took a loss to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Canada can play well against Belgium, keep that tight. Keep that tight. Even if they lose, they'll have some swag. They'll have some swagger. They'll have some
Yeah.
sweat. They can go and beat those other teams, right? The next two.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
They
it's
got
kind of an
Croatia
important
and
game.
Morocco. It
You
is
know,
very important.
you don't want to get SFU'd by Belgium.
You
You know,
don't.
you want to hang in there like the Lakers did, keep it close.
You want to hang in there like the Lakers, and you want to make some statement wins like the
Yeah.
Vikes. But no offense to the Miners, but you don't want to be the Logan Lake Miners right now. You definitely not in the
Yeah.
World Cup.
Well, they got a good attitude. They'll be kind of ticked off this weekend. So
Yep.
watch out for them because they'll be coming home to play in front of their friends.
Yes.
They'll be pumping iron all week, getting ready for that one.
Pumping iron. Well, I guess that wraps up this installment of In the Corners with Reese Savoy and Matt Good. And it's been a very high impact level of hockey coming from the BCIHL last weekend,
Yeah.
but I think it just gets even better this weekend. So definitely tune into Hockey TV, tune into the social media so you can get updates based on the scores. And I don't even know if I've done it during the video, but you could also check out the UVic hockey broadcast group Instagram that is run by this fella, or this guy. I don't know where it's gonna go, but yeah, and you can also check out our Twitter, and you can stay tuned with this YouTube channel, and we'll keep you up to date with all BCIHL action. Yeah, anything left to add there, Matt?
Well, as Keenan Eddie says, something like this, it's good to be a good player on the ice and off the ice. So thanks to all the wonderful players making a difference out there. Thanks, Reese.
Absolutely.
Going to be a great weekend.
It's going to be a good one. You guys better tune in. All right, tune in. Good stuff coming.